Example is more powerful than precept. And that's why Solomon's son went wrong, Rehoboam. Right, so the warning is, hey, I'm not as smart as Solomon. I better be very close to God and feel my dependence on Him if I'm going to obey these proverbs, which are rules on how to live. The one I like best is translated in the KJV, chapter 26 and verse 2. The curse causeless shall not come. Now, proverbs are generalizations. They never fit every case. They're what fit most cases. But that verse is very profound. The curse causeless shall not come. When you get sick, and we all get sick, you should ask, hey, why this curse? What have I been doing? Or what have I not been doing? Because sometimes the worst thing about our behaviour isn't anything we've done, it's what we've failed to do. So when you read in Proverbs, the curse causeless shall not come, it's saying, listen, sowing and reaping, actions have consequences. When you're in trouble, ask the question, what have I been doing? Or what have I failed to do? You know the law of the harvest. You reap what you sow. You reap more than you sow, or you wouldn't bother. And there's a time gap between sowing and reaping. Stalin got away with murders by the million. For decades, he got away with it. Then he died as a typically, well, I shouldn't say typical for a sinful life, but not typical for a Georgian. Most people in the country he came from lived a long time. He died in his early 70s. You reap what you sow. But there's a gap between sowing and reaping. That's why you've got to be careful what they call the pragmatic test. If it works, uses it. If Hitler had used the pragmatic test in 1942, he would have said, I've got it made. All of Europe practically is mine. We're doing great. So let's invade Russia. And that's where General Winter did him in, just as it had done in Napoleon. So when the Bible says in Proverbs, the curse causeless shall not come, it's saying when you're in trouble, ask yourself, why did this curse come upon me? What have I been doing? I can usually find out why I'm in trouble. I've been stupid about something, become so interested in something, I've pursued it to the exclusion of some more important matters, like rest or exercise or something. The curse causeless shall not come. Please note, in sowing and reaping, ignorance of the seed makes no difference. Many people say, oh, I'm so sincere. It's not enough. Sincerity is not enough. There are lots of sincere idiots. Lots of them. Countless. Myriads of them. Sincerity is not enough. Ignorance of the seed makes no difference. I sometimes argue with a close relative and he points out what the majority of Australians are doing to prove that my way of life is clearly idiotic. My answer to him is this: but most people are stupid. Look how they eat, look how they drink, look how much they sit and fail to exercise, look how they gamble, look how they smoke, look how they use alcohol. Don't tell me to be guided by the majority of Australians. They're idiots. And they are. Isn't it ridiculous? Layman and I were talking about it coming along in the car today. How millions of people put a thief into their stomach to steal away their brains. Isn't that ridiculous? You know, the word death, D-E-A-T-H, is mainly E-A-T. But you'd never think so. by the way people eat. So the curse causes shall not come. Look at chapter 1. He tells us the purpose of the book. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, in attaining wisdom and discipline, for understanding words of insight, for acquiring a disciplined and prudent life, doing what is right and just and fair. Notice, for acquiring a disciplined and prudent life. A mature Christian is a very disciplined person. A mature Christian knows that there are 10,000 things that invite time and attention from which he must turn away. A mature Christian knows he must discipline himself about work and rest, about eating and drinking, in speech and thinking, everything he does. Discipline, discipline. Remember what Paul said? I keep under my body. One version says, I batter it black and blue. Lest after having preached to others, I myself should become a castaway. He said, those that run in the games run all, but only one gets the prize. So run that you may obtain. I keep under my body. That's not easy. I've had 1,000,000 failures and still fail. But it's the condition of achievement and happiness and joy. Keep under the body. Discipline, discipline, discipline. This book takes up all the things we do every day. It talks about speaking, it talks about sex, it talks about spending, it talks about work. And Billy Graham is surely a good example for us when he read a chapter a day so that every month he finished the book and then he started again. The book is trying to tell us how to live. We'll look at one or two examples. I've jotted down a few that are of interest. Let's look at what it says about sloth. 24:30. 24:30. This is a beautiful passage. You all know it. I went past the field of the sluggard, past the vineyard of the man who lacks judgment. Thorns had come up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds. The stone wall was in ruins. I applied to my heart to what I observed and learnt a lesson from what I saw. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a bandit, and scarcity like an armed man. You know, there are many pitfalls. Most people don't work hard enough. If the devil saves you from that pit, he'll make you work too much. They're both mistakes. They're both mistakes. But this is a warning about not working hard enough. Poverty will come on you like a bandit, scarcity like an armed man. Have a look at chapter 20 and verse 1, what it says in the matter of temperance. I'm keen on these verses because by nature I'm not temperate in anything. 20 and verse 1. Wine is a mocker, beer a brawler. Whoever is led astray by them is not wise. Look at chapter 23.